Solitary confinement. This punishment involves placing an inmate alone in a small enclosed cell for up to 22 or 23 hours a day. Human contact is extremely limited, sometimes reduced to brief interactions with guards. It is often used for violent behavior, serious rule violations, or to separate high-risk individuals. The lack of stimulation, conversation, and normal routine can make time feel distorted, which is part of its intended control. Over longer periods, it has been known to affect mental health, which is why it remains one of the most discussed punishments in modern prisons. Loss of good behavior time. In many prison systems, inmates can earn reduced sentences by consistently following rules and showing good conduct. When those rules are broken, part of that earned time can be taken away. This means the inmate must stay in prison longer than expected. It directly connects behavior to time served, making it one of the most impactful punishments. Even small violations can have lasting consequences if they affect sentence reductions. Disciplinary transfer. An inmate may be moved to a completely different prison as a form of punishment. These transfers often send individuals to higher security facilities with stricter rules and fewer privileges. The sudden change can be difficult, as it removes familiar routines, environments, and social connections. In some cases, inmates are transferred far from family, making visits much harder. The disruption itself becomes part of the penalty. Loss of visitation rights. This punishment removes or limits an inmate's ability to see family and friends. Visits are often one of the few ways inmates stay emotionally connected to the outside world. Losing that contact can feel isolating and discouraging, especially over longer periods. It is usually enforced after violations involving communication, contraband, or behavior during visits. The emotional impact can be stronger than many physical restrictions. Segregation. Segregation places an inmate in a separate housing unit away from the general prison population. While not always complete isolation, daily life becomes far more restricted. With limited movement and fewer interactions, it is used both for discipline and for protection, depending on the situation. The environment is quieter, more controlled, and often more tense. Over time, the reduced social contact can make even short stays feel much longer. Chain gang labor. This form of punishment requires inmates to perform physical labor, sometimes while restrained or closely supervised in groups. Historically, chain gangs were used for roadwork and other public projects, especially in the United States. While modern versions are less extreme, the idea of enforced labor as discipline still exists in some systems. The work is often repetitive and physically demanding, reinforcing consequences through effort and fatigue. Bread and water diet. In some prison systems, inmates may be temporarily placed on a very basic diet as punishment. This usually involves plain food with minimal variety, intended to meet only basic nutritional needs. It is used for short periods and typically follows strict regulations. The lack of normal meals makes the punishment immediately noticeable. Even though it is not meant to cause harm, it emphasizes discipline through discomfort. Restraint chairs. In extreme situations, inmates may be placed in a restraint chair, which limits nearly all movement. This is typically used when someone is considered a danger to themselves or others. The individual is secured in place under close supervision for a controlled period of time. It is one of the most physically restrictive measures available in a prison setting. Because of its intensity, it is usually reserved for serious incidents and closely monitored to prevent misuse.